a piece. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go 8, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Woo! It's go, 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 go time.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dueling Aces for June 17th, 2025. And of course, starting off the show with me as always is our good buddy Sam, also from 609. How you doing, Sam?
The curse of Babe Ruth still lives.
Really?
Yes. Now, we'll get into that a little bit later, George. You can reminisce on your childhood when Babe Ruth got traded, so we'll get to that.
Wow. Wow. Well, you know what, buddy? Just for that wisecrack, I'm gonna flip the tables on you for a change. I think you know this guy. I think you know this guy.
What's up?
All right,
welcome, Orlando. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing real good.
Well, since he's here, then I'm out of here.
Oh, I thought that was only for Adam.
I haven't seen Adam since I joined this, so I don't know.
That's funny.
Oh, God.
How's everyone?
The curse of Babe Ruth still lives. That's how I'm doing. It still lives.
Yep.
I have a theory behind this. Now, like I said, George was about a small tyke, and he was still in diapers when Babe Ruth was traded. So that's the ongoing joke here is that George was born in 1896, according to
well, at least we're getting a little closer to 1900.
Hey, Bruiser said it last week. I'm just going to go with the joke, okay? Even though the chat was funny this afternoon, George, I'll give you that was the best comeback you could have came up with.
Thank you. Now, Sam, Orlando, you guys want to explain the relationship a little bit for our new peeps who do not know Orlando?
Well,
a friendship of 15 years.
pretty much 15 years of friendship. Both started talking about sports.
And I haven't been able to get rid of him since.
Pretty much.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know you've made that nice trek across, a few states, and hopefully,
Yep.
You're getting yourself grounded there. I hope everything's going all right for you guys.
We're getting there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam, of course, has probably still got the baseball game going on over in the background, as always. It's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else going on. I mean, playoffs, Oh, wait a minute. Is there a basketball game this week or is it next week?
I don't know. I've heard they're moving the NBA Finals format to one game a week. I heard they need 6 days off.
6? So is it Thursday this week or is it Sunday of next week?
I know it's Saturday in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's Saturday. Okay. Well, in the meantime, the Stanley Cup is normal, right?
Oh, the Panthers are closing that up tonight. And then we could talk about Connor McDavid touching that trophy again in a few weeks. We can revisit that because I said if the Panthers won this series, it could we can make the case for the curse. So it's fitting that my screen name has to do with a curse. Just a different curse.
Yeah, but remember, people said it was going to go 7, so I don't know.
Edmonton's got to win that game in Florida tonight. I don't know how much. Which, by the way, listen to this real quick. They moved. So the Phillies and Marlins game was supposed to start at 6:40. They apparently moved the start time of the baseball game to 6:10 because of the Stanley Cup game. How many fans do they think the Marlins draw?
Right.
Marlins Park right now is Citizens Bank Park, South Florida edition. That's what it is right now.
They're the A's.
No, they're not. They have a ballpark. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're right.
They have a ballpark, sir.
I mean, technically they have one, but they're just getting rebuilt.
No, they don't. They have not started the construction there. They don't even know if Oakland's going to still approve this. They made the move without even having an agreement that they're actually going to get the move official.
That's crazy.
I would have loved for a situation that made them go back to the Coliseum. I'd laugh for days.
I was going to say, didn't they condemn the building, though, already? So they have nothing to go back to.
I'm not a Vegas real estate man or construction man. I don't know.
Right. They can't even go back to Oakland if they wanted to.
Yeah, I was going to say, they can't go back. They're homeless.
Mm-hmm. A baseball team that's homeless is crazy.
They're literally not even called the Oakland Athletics anymore. They're literally just now called the Athletics because they have nowhere to go. It's hilarious.
That's crazy.
It's totally insane. It's a mockery of baseball ownership is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, without a doubt. Now, like with the Rays, there's nothing you can do. That right. Happened.
Mm-hmm.
And all the idiots
act of God.
Yeah, exactly. And all the idiots out there say, oh, they could have just played as a regular outdoor stadium. Have fun trying to play with Tropicana in the rain where there's no drain system because it's a freaking dome, you idiot.
Yep.
Yeah. Only baseball stadium with a dome that I know of.
Yeah, because Minnesota and Seattle both do not play in a dome anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't count the ones with retractable roofs as a dome.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, Tropicana's was a straight quote unquote dome.
Yeah, I mean,
what's up, Dave?
Minnesota left the freaking Metrodome years ago.
Yep.
Remember when that caved in because of all the snow that was on the roof?
Yeah.
Well, it was bound to happen eventually.
I mean, Adrian Pearson could only keep that thing up for so long.
I got and the surprises keep coming. Mr. Halfhill, the other half of the Bearded Bastards. Well, how the hell are you?
I'm all right. And sort of hear you. I'm experimenting on my phone at the gym, so I'm not sure how well the service is going to be.
Oh, you're coming in great, my friend. You're coming in great. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
How's life been treating you on the flip side?
Busy. Between work and gym, that's basically all I do now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bruiser is kind of giving us the tidbits on you guys doing a bunch of lifting competitions and whatnot.
Yeah, my next one is October 5th, I think. I got to double check.
Nice. We were just talking about the ignorance that is the athletics with no home to call home as a baseball stadium.
They're playing at a college stadium or a minor league stadium, aren't they?
Yep, they're playing in Sacramento right now, which I forget who's the affiliate. I'm assuming it's an affiliate of theirs or somebody's. I don't even know.
They're basically the Oakland Raiders of baseball. I want to make a move. I'm leaving. Peace out. Whether you like it or not. Come on. It's totally a Raider move, dude. It totally is.
Yeah, but at least
and
the Raiders
say he's going to Vegas on top of it. Just
at
like
least the Raiders had a home when they left, though. This is
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
they had a
Okay.
plan.
Yeah, they had a
Touche.
plan, and it was signed, sealed, delivered that they're going to have a stadium there.
this is like the Oakland A's are like the child stuck in a custody battle that has to live with like the weird drunk aunt till they find a permanent home.
Ah,
Oh,
oh, that was perfect. Well said, Sean. Well said.
and
Well said.
and also let's not point out that when it comes to the Raiders, that the last year and next year's WrestleMania are the two biggest events in that stadium's history because the Raiders ain't going to bring nothing of importance there anytime soon.
No, not at all.
There'll
Even
be
though
a Super
I have,
Bowl, but it won't be them in it.
oh yeah, they'll host
Yeah.
they'll have no issue hosting everything because it's Vegas, it's the Strip, it's all that good stuff. It ain't gonna be because of the Raiders.
But thank you for having me. I'm going to let you guys go.
It
I'll
was
watch.
great to see you.
Thank you for letting me come in for a little bit.
No problem. Anytime, sir. Anytime.
All right, now who set that up? Real quick, I need to know who set that up.
What? Who set what up? I don't know what
Okay.
you're talking about.
Sure, you don't.
I don't know what you're talking about. Come on.
Okay, so what are we going off first here? Are we doing some other stuff, or can I give my theory on the Babe Ruth thing?
Go right ahead on your theory.
All right. So, of course, George, like I said, you were a mere tyke when this happened, so I'm not sure if you remember the Babe Ruth trade. I know you were a tyke. But anyway, so everyone remembers the famous curse of the Bambino. Red Sox trade him to the Yankees. They don't win a World Series for over feels like 1,000 years. Yeah, they've won a few. But why do the Red Sox continue this trend of just moving star players for little to nothing? Or just letting them leave in general? Why is that still a thing? They're the only team I can remember that just lets star player after star player either get traded for a sack of potatoes, walk with no legit contract offer, and I don't understand it.
Have you met the Cleveland Guardians?
Exactly. Thank you, Sean. I was going to say, have you met the Cleveland team? Hello. That's the Cleveland thing. It doesn't matter. It's all three of our teams here. They all do it.
I don't
Come
think it's
on.
a Cleveland thing.
Have you been to this town?
I don't think it's a
No, I
Cleveland
have
thing,
not.
but again, it goes back to Oakland. You can thank Moneyball for all that bullshit.
Yes.
Well, but it does happen. It happens in football. We let the guys go out the door. No big deal. Or we ruin them and then let them go out the door.
And that's a fair point, but we can, the one thing we can agree on is, as great as a sports place like Cleveland can be, when you think of markets, you think where? You think New York, you think Los Angeles, and you think Boston. When it comes to the history of baseball, one of the first three teams out of your mouth should be the Boston Red Sox.
Right. Them are the Yankees.
Yeah, and the Red Sox right now are acting like they are the Oakland Athletics. Like they don't have money, and they act. Now, listen, the Devers situation is a little different from some others, but the fact that this is a reoccurring thing, because remember something, it's not just Babe Ruth and everything was okay. The only player I can remember the Red Sox staying loyal to was David Ortiz, and that's only because he retired.
Okay.
Just think of this. So the Ruth stuff happened, yes. Let's go back to the 80s, and when he was 33 years old. Their new front office regime that back then decided not to re-sign Roger Clemens because, he was 33 years old. He ended up pitching until he was 43 and still had some damn good years left in him after he left frickin' Boston. Let's go back to 2004. They break the curse. They decide they lowballed Pedro Martinez on a contract the year after just winning the World Series. Then you have the whole Mookie Betts situation where they won the World Series in 2018, and by 2020, he was a Dodger. And because they didn't want to pay him. Then they let Alexander Bogaerts just walk in free agency a couple years ago.
Oh,
and now they pay Rafael Devers. Now, the one thing I will say when it comes to Red Sox GM Craig Breslow, he did not give Rafael Devers that contract. The GM prior to him did. But the point is, and everyone's like, oh, well, the Red Sox, they're trying to get young. They're trying to rebuild. I said rebuild. They just spent the winter signing Aroldis Chapman, signing Alex Bregman. Now, that has a lot to do with this whole Devers situation, and trading for Garrett Crochet. I don't know if that's what I call a rebuild.
Just adding some pieces parts, really.
So, backstory of this whole Devers thing was, now Devers has been the Red Sox third baseman ever since the year after they won the World Series. And apparently, when they signed Alex Bregman to play third base, they never approached Devers about a possible positional change. Now, the issue with that is Devers has never played another position outside of third base. And they didn't sign Bregman in December, where they would have had months to talk to Devers and potentially try to position him for another position on the field. They signed Bregman 8 days before spring training. And as soon as they got to the facility, all right, Rafi, you can't play third no more. We signed Alex Bregman. So that pissed off Devers. The only person that they said that Devers actually didn't have a major issue with so far has been manager Alex Cora, and even he couldn't get to him. And then the Red Sox first baseman, whose name I forget because I haven't known a first baseman on the Red Sox since Kevin Youkilis.
Fair enough.
And so then after he gets hurt, then all of a sudden they're scrambling. They're like, well, can Rafi play first? And then he came out and said, I don't play. I play third base, and that's it. So that's where his attitude started. Now, Devers and the Red Sox had a little bit of a going on before this due to the fact that he needed a new contract, which ultimately ended up getting done. And so after that, now what really got screwed up with this was a few weeks ago, Alex Bregman got hurt, and he is going to be out. They're hoping he'll be back before the All-Star break, but it's not guaranteed. They didn't even ask Devers to go back to third base because they know where that would have landed from. So Devers has been their full-time DH this whole year, and the Red Sox have not played well this year. They recently have. They just took 5 out of 6 games from the Yankees. They swept them over this past weekend, and the weekend prior, they took 2 out of 3. They just got back over 500, and now the Red Sox traded for a bag of baseball, which this trade actually may be a little bit worse than the Mookie Betts one. So the curse of the one
doesn't
Babe
know
Ruth
what to do anymore.
The curse of Babe Ruth still lives on in terms of the Red Sox not knowing how to take care of their star player, homegrown talent. Every guy that they have brought up in the previous years has been traded away for nothing. The big ticket acquisition they got in the Mookie Betts deal a couple years ago was Jeter down. He's not even in the organization anymore. He's not with AAA. He's not even in the Red Sox organization anymore.
What's their record right now?
They're 38-36. And like the big story of this whole thing is that when Craig Breslow took over as GM, he did not pay Rafael Devers. The GM before him did. So this was, to me, also, by the way, San Francisco, they couldn't. This is a match made in heaven for 2 reasons. Number one, what have we read over the past few off seasons? Giants couldn't get Aaron Judge, even though they tried like hell to. They couldn't get Shohei Ohtani, who they also tried like hell to get. They are a team that, if they want to compete with the Dodgers and the Padres, need star talent players. They got Willie Adames from the Brewers, and he's fine, but he's not on the level of some of the guys that I just mentioned. He's a good starting point. So, of course, they took advantage of a team that knows they need a star talented player who they're going to have under team control now for the next 8 years because he's signed through 2030 freaking 3, I think. And he's going to be a full-time DH.
Well,
Because now, all of a sudden, he's willing to play first base for the Giants. So,
Anthony's telling you.
Anthony, how's that possible? They just traded him Sunday night. Unless there are 3 doubleheaders that I am unaware of, no, they are not.
I didn't see any doubles.
No, that's it. They are in the middle of a win streak with him. Like I said, they just swept the Yankees over the weekend. His last at bat as a Red Sox, he homered. But back to the whole with the Giants. I like the trade for the Giants. They didn't give up anything, but now he's willing to play first base. They're going to start working at first base because he can't play third at San Fran. They got Matt Chapman, who's won 2 or 3 straight platinum gloves. You're not moving that guy.
Right.
So the Giants have always had the decent pitching, and they've had some very good players in the field. Chapman's a great fielding third baseman. Adames is a solid hitter with a good glove at short. Patrick Bailey's their catcher. I think he's one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. He doesn't have the bat of like a JT Realmuto or a Will Smith or a Salvador Perez, but he can at least command a pitching staff. He can throw runners out from behind the dish. He can call a good game, good pitch framer, all that stuff. Now with Devers, but this is the thing. The Red Sox took advantage of the Giants because the Giants have been so desperate for a star player. They agreed in this trade. They are paying the full remainder of Rafael Devers' contract. The Red Sox unloaded the entire rest of this deal in this trade. The Giants took the full contract. The Red Sox declined a trade 2 weeks ago because they did not want to have to pay any of the deal. The Giants said we'll pay the whole thing. Which now, and this is the other thing, the Red Sox have other players they're going to move. They're going to move Aroldis Chapman. They're going to move Jarren Duran. I could make the case they may move Walker Buehler because the guys are on 1-year expiring deals. I think the Red Sox did this for 2 reasons. Number one, the player was not happy. The front office was not happy with the player. There was clearly tension. It's the right move, but it's how the Red Sox caused all this is what my problem is. I'm sure Rafael Devers would have had no issue playing first base if you approached it the right way. Not signing basically his infield replacement a week before spring training. And this is why baseball needs to have some type of a limit on when these signings can happen, because then you have crap like this. Like, I'm sorry, if you're not signed going into spring training, there's got to be some type of repercussion to that. And Scott Boras is the reason for all this because he's the worst sports agent in the history of freaking sports. He's like, I get my guys paid. No, you get them paid for a year with an opt-out clause so they can go out and hit the market again. So.
What's up, Clint?
I don't hate it. Well, because Anthony, regardless of what we say about Devers, he's still one of the best players in the game. He's still one of the best left-handed hitters in the game. But that's the point. The Giants were able to go in there and tell them, okay, we'll pay the whole contract, but we're not giving you jack shit for him. And the fact that that is how desperate Craig Breslow was to offload this contract. He took a deal that basically gave them nothing of value in return. Maybe Jordan Hicks can go into the bullpen and be a solid arm. Maybe Harrison can figure it out as a starter, and maybe the Red Sox found another diamond in the rough type starter to put in their rotation one day. Maybe. And the other 2 prospects, I know nothing about. But it's just the fact that the Red Sox, for a team that claims they're this big market team, they just continue to let these star players just lead. Babe Ruth, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez. Mookie Betts, Alexander Bogart. Bogart they didn't even offer a contract to when he left. But then they had no issue. Then they realized the year after, hey, we need a shortstop. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's a pretty important position. And
Right.
then they go out and give Trevor Story a big contract. He's played about maybe 180 games out of 3 years in Boston.
Well, they're trying to relive the glory days.
Well, trading away Rafael Devers ain't doing it. The only thing, now I will say the Red Sox have a lot of young players coming up through their system. They got a solid rotation when it's healthy. They've got 2 starters hurt right now. Garrett Crochet is one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. Brian Bayo is another one. He's their number 2 starter. Excellent young right-hander. They got pieces there. Christian Campbell, their young second baseman. It's his rookie year. I'm high on him. They just called up Anthony a couple of weeks ago. Not Anthony Price. So, Anthony, just relax. You haven't been called up yet.
Right.
But he just hit his first major league home run the other night. They've got a plethora of young players coming up. What I personally think is, I think this was a dump to get Devers off of the Red Sox because I think the front office was done with this tyrant. But remember something. There's another left-handed hitter who's hitting the open market this winter, and that's Kyle Tucker. The Red Sox just cleared almost $290 million off their payroll for the next 8 years. If the Cubs do not get a deal done with Kyle Tucker in season, which in baseball, that is very unlikely, because of the way the baseball contracts are, these guys have no issue hitting the open freaking market. Right. And what Kyle Tucker has done for that Cubs lineup, that price is just going to go up and up and up. So do not be surprised if the Red Sox are a huge player for Kyle Tucker in the winter.
And don't forget, Petey's going to be available again, too.
Yeah, he will be. And they got the money now. They don't really have now, the first baseman they do have, he's pretty solid, but I don't know if he's a long-term answer. He's a solid young player, but there's going to be this is going to be a very interesting rest of this season for the Red Sox. And see, I mean, they're still playing good baseball even after trading Devers. They still won the last couple games. And they're playing in Seattle. Seattle's not a bad team either. They're not a great team, but not a bad team.
Yep.
So that was your.
Wouldn't that just be a kick in the shorts getting him and Petey?
Oh my God! It'd be like Poppy and Manny back together. And
that would be interesting.
And that's the crazy thing as well. Remember, every year that he was a Red Sox, the Red Sox were trying to trade Manny Ramirez because no one could stand him. But somehow, you know what the front office would say? Well, shit, the guy's won us 2 World Series. What do we do?
Right.
So, I mean, it's just what annoys me is like how you guys laugh about the Guardians and what they do with players. That's not to insult, but you're used to it, right? You're kind of used to it by now.
Oh, yeah.
But the Red Sox, like, George, when we talk baseball, the 4 teams that come to your mind as a historical fan, Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, Red Sox. Those are 4 of the first teams that some people think of. And the Red Sox have had some of the greatest players to ever play the game, and they just continue to do this every time with star players. It started with the Vane, it went back to Roger, it was then with Pedro, now it's with Betts, Bogarts, and now Devers. The only reason they didn't get a chance to trade David Ortiz is probably because he freaking retired.
Right.
So, yeah, there's my almost half hour of baseball.
Your rant.
Now I'm just mad. I'm not even a Red Sox fan. I'm not even part of. I don't have a freaking dog in the fight, and I'm still mad.
I was gonna say you ain't even got a dog in this race. The heck?
Because when you are one of the most historical teams in baseball, and you clearly this past winter were trying to get better, you went out and traded for one of the best starting pitchers on the market. You signed one of the best third basemen in the league. You signed Aroldis Chapman, who's still one of the best left-handed relievers of this day. And this is what you do? Now, granted, I understand that you're only 2 games over 500, but with the new wild card system, crazier shit has happened. The Phillies didn't get into the postseason 3 years ago till the final day of the season, and they went to the damn World Series. It don't matter how you play in April. It matters in September who's playing the best ball.
Right. All right. Well,
So, yeah,
we'll get you off your soapbox, and we're going to turn around and kick it into the next gear and pop up the true reason you wanted to turn around and why we entitled Sports Players Nicknames and the best NFL nickname ever.
Would you believe me if I told you I just found that about a half hour before the show?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm sure it was just floating around out there. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Just floating around there.
So, I noticed GOAT isn't listed anywhere.
That ain't no nickname. We call that. That nickname's been watered down so much I can't even remember.
The human joystick, who, you know, I mean, I got him right back here. Hello. Dante Hall doesn't get to make the list, but the Nigerian Nightmare makes the list.
Honestly, I don't like this list at all.
Honey Badger, it worked for college. It's not working for the pros. He's not that fantastic. So, yeah, no, it doesn't work. Sorry. You know, whatever. We also Thunder and Lightning, the Giants running backs, missing off the list. What else we got?
I'm sorry, I got a team one. I know it's not the greatest, but what about that 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars defense? They were calling them Saxonville.
Sorry, but Cleveland has the dog pound, so they got the dogs. That trumps that one. But the one that initially actually trumps everybody is the Purple People Eaters from the Minnesota Vikings. So if we're gonna argue team ones. Sorry, but so the first one goes, right. The first one does get it. I mean, yes, then after the Purple People Eaters, I would put the Steel Curtain in there, not to be dissing any Pittsburgh folks, but I would add that one in.
I like Anthony bringing up the Legion of Boom in Seattle because
that was a cool one.
And I'm going to rebut to that, Anthony. Terry's not that scary, so
he's not too scary. He's scary when he wants to be.
And now when Klingon Mitchell's covering him.
True.
But I'll have to hear about the one play he got open off of Mitchell when there was supposed to be help over the top and there wasn't. That'll be the one play I hear about, even though he locked them up for the rest of the freaking season.
So I pulled this up. The 75 best sports nicknames of all time, according to a Schleppy. So, of course, he comes up with King James first.
Get the hell out of here.
Marvelous Marvin Hagler, which is
okay.
Was a good one. Sir Charles. This one I did not know.
I did not
know Ted Williams had a nickname. I did not know this.
Surprised the Red Sox didn't trade him at some point.
The Yankee Clipper, I did know.
I did not know that one, actually.
Oh, for DiMaggio? Yeah, that one
you
I
were
did
about
know.
Well,
you were about
13 years old, right?
No.
Yeah, George, I already said it. You're too late.
Evander, real deal. Stu, the Grim Reaper. Now, of course, Zolt is not with us this evening. He is just barely on temporarily assignment. he's been a little ill over the past couple days, so he will not be making his presence this evening.
Oh, so you're telling me I got to make all the jokes up myself?
Oh, you can try. Clint, there it is. It's right there, buddy. It's right there.
Yeah, I was saying Kobe's got to be one of my favorites. The Black Mamba.
Sean Marion, the Matrix. Now, of course, duh. Come for me, it's a duh. No big deal.
I
Babe
love
Ruth.
Marion.
Babe Ruth. Everybody knew that one. That was a no-brainer.
Did you take that picture, George?
You're I don't know if you're making headway in that canoe or if the river's pushing you back further.
I'm under the
tells me
freaking
you're
water
going to
by
be going
now.
back and forth like the tide.
The Crimson Tide, maybe.
Did not know this one. My buddy Brian.
You didn't know that one?
See, that is not. This one I definitely did not know.
Oh, I remember. I remember this from the. Have you ever watched the Ham and Magic documentary?
No, I had not. Nope, I did not.
Did you fall off the face of the earth for 30 years?
Nope. You got to remember, it's yes, I know of these guys and whatnot, but all the way up until about mid 90s, never even bothered to watch basketball. Yeah. I'm not very fluent with too much boxing, so I do not know who that is.
Me neither, so you're good.
That one, of course, I did know. Being
Yeah.
the 49er guy.
This one's got to be one of the corniest nicknames ever.
I need to check with Bryce on this, make sure that the spelling's correct.
Trust, it's Nick Young, so if it's wrong, it wouldn't be surprising.
Oscar, I did know.
I'm sorry, wait. I thought to have a nickname, you had to be a good player. Why is Nick Young on this list?
Like I said, a Schleppy made this list.
Clear freaking lay.
Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight reel. I did know that one. I did.
That brother is up there.
Yes, he is. That is some serious height. I've never heard of him referred to that.
I don't even know who is Rafer Alston.
I've never heard of him referred. I have never heard that. Even on Sports Center highlights, I've never heard of that. So I have no idea.
Yeah, Jason Williams. You better know who Jason Williams is.
Yes. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. That one's a pretty cool one, though. I like that.
You know, he was on it. Gilbert Arenas and a couple other ex-NBA players have a podcast now, and they had Jason Williams on there, and he was saying that they don't make point. There's literally no such thing as a point guard anymore, and oh my God, is he so right?
Oh yeah, the Steelers, the bus. Yep. Oh Jesus, Clint, you're killing me. Oh my.
There's a certain player that I'm looking for on this list, and if he's not on here, I'm gonna be pissed.
Now, listen, I was alive during the Pete Rose era.
And a lot of other
I did not hear this nickname. I did not.
So George, I bet you that you did hear this nickname before.
No.
Went
Not
right over his
familiar
head.
with him. Well, yeah, that's pretty much that one's a given.
Wait, his real name's not. Wait. Oh no. His real name isn't Tiger.
You are kidding, right?
Yes, I'm clearly kidding. I'm still waiting for you to acknowledge the one I said a second ago that you didn't. You clearly went
Like
over
I
your
said,
head.
I can move along very quickly. And then, of course, we got the Magic Men, Penny and Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq. I mean, yeah, Shaq. I guess. I mean, it's part of his
I
name.
mean,
but okay.
Shaq is just the shortened.
Yeah, it's not even a nickname. It's just now they used to call him the Diesel. That would have made more sense.
Right. I was just gonna say you could have put the Diesel up there. That would have
Hold
worked.
on, but George, did you hear what I said to you about Pete Rose?
No, I ignored it totally.
I said I bet you've heard it before.
Like I said, I moved along quickly.
Mailman, I've heard
The
that.
Mailman, that one was pretty easy.
I remember Gary Payton's nickname.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for somebody also to be on this list because I hadn't seen it yet either.
Here goes one of my baseball nicknames I loved, the Big Hurt.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny because Ryan Howard was the Big Piece.
Sweetness, of course.
Oh, go ahead. Absolutely.
I don't know about
it. Was a nickname, but it never stuck.
I was gonna say it really didn't. Yeah, I like I said, I'm not a fan of that one. Mean Joe Green, of course, was on the list. So was Broadway Joe. Night Train Lane. Here's the other one. He said that Austin got the skip to my Lou because of off his street ball days.
Well, it definitely wasn't from his NBA.
Okay.
Pistol Pete.
Yep. Well, Sean Kemp had many nicknames.
I don't remember that one.
That one's not one I remembered either. I was like, okay. There he is. We finally started actually with the hockey one. Very surprised. Gretzky better be on this list.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for one of mine.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of still isn't here yet.
I do not remember.
I had no clue. Bruiser May, it's a Pittsburgh Pirates guy, so.
Hey, George, just real quickly. 1:13 to go in period one. Panthers with a 1-0 lead.
Plenty of time. Thomas Hearns, the Hitman, yes. I know that one.
I remember that. I remember Daryl Dawkins. He made breaking the backboard cool. Up 2-0.
Like I said, plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time to make it about 4-0.
That's not who I thought an Iceman would be. But
Me neither.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Stay hey kid.
There's Reggie.
Of course, that's one of the greatest of all time, Mr. October.
Yep. Jack Tatum.
Dude, George, I'm getting scared. There's somebody here I'm waiting to see, and I'm not seeing it. I'm getting mad.
Really? Who called him the answer?
Oh, that was his. Yeah, that in his prime days in Philly, that was his. That he was his nickname.
The answer? What was the question?
When would he ever show up to practice?
Anthony, he has not made the list. He's not on this list yet.
There is one.
There's one. Ed Too Tall. Yep. That's not who I thought the snake would be.
Yeah, definitely not.
Jake Plummer is Jake the Snake Plummer is who I was thinking of, not Ken Stabler. Fridge.
Oh yeah.
Reggie.
Yup. Another all-timer right
That was a
there.
good one.
Still hate the Eagles front office.
Andre, Bad Moon Rising. Clint says Hibachi was another good one for Gilbert Arenas.
Oh God, there's a lot of things that are good for Gilbert Arenas.
Okay. The Rod Smart, now we know the dude just literally just went all the way to XFL here. And he wasn't even that good. There's Dion's. We knew that one.
Yup.
Tim Duncan, the big fundamental.
Yeah.
There's Dale.
Bruiser would love that.
Oscar, the big O.
The big O. Yup.
Dude, look at that is serious splits being done right there.
Now let me explain something to you. If a player
My
in today's league,
my loins and groin hurt just looking at this photo.
if a player from today's era tried that, they'd be load managing for 6 months.
Oh yeah. There's a EMT waiting on him in the tunnel. Because damn. And it's interesting. It's a 6'5" guard. Okay. Crazy legs. Yep.
Okay.
Robert Ory, Big Shot Bob.
Oh dude.
I don't recall him being called Big Shot Bob.
Because literally every postseason game he was in, he hit a big shot at some point in the series. Especially with the Lakers. Every freaking time.
Big Shot, yes, but Big Shot Bob, no. I don't remember the Bob part being part of that. The next two, yes. Hammer and Hank in the big unit. Ray Boom Boom Mancini, yes, definitely heard of that one. Well, he put Gretzky on there. Good. And there's Mr. Hockey.
Yep.
I'm definitely glad that these aren't in any particular order. There's the Admiral. Still somebody who I'm shocked is not on this list. Dude,
I'm waiting.
Somebody call that brother's mother, because that is a face only a mother could love. That's brutal. I mean, totally living up to the bleeder. Good Lord.
Be nice now, George.
There's Magic Johnson.
Wait, his real name wasn't Magic? I'm clearly kidding. What?
Super Mario?
You know, I wasn't really alive for much of his prime. Hakeem Olajuwon is still just one of my favorite all-time NBA players. Over Shaq.
Yeah. There's Dr. J.
Another all-timer.
Still not seeing somebody. Smoking Joe Frazier, yep. Vinny the Microwave Johnson, yep.
Okay.
I was in Detroit, living in Detroit during that time. The Kid, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and I still ain't seen somebody. Okay, that one is a big throwback for the NFL, but yep. There's Lou, but still not somebody I'm looking for. And they finished with okay. I know who I'm looking for. Was your guy on this list?
No.
My guy was Clyde the Glide Drexler. What's up with that?
Where's Big Poppy, David Ortiz?
Yeah, I figured you had. I figured you had somebody locked and loaded too. I'm like,
And
what gives?
what about? I know. What about A-Rod?
But yet, these are the top 75 on this schmucks list.
That's terrible. Like, how is David Ortiz one of the greatest players in DHs in baseball history? How in the hell is he not on this list?
Oh Jesus! There's Zolt. Zolt, I thought you were dead to the world.
Thank you, Zolt. At least I don't got to do all the heavy lifting tonight. At least Zolt can comment and give me some material.
Okay. Yeah, Megatron not on the list.
That
Clint says he was looking for Big Poppy too. That's what she said. Oh, Clint's got his personal comments for you on A-Rod, by the way. Sam.
Oh, Clint, I'm sorry.
So, who else is missing? Who else is missing off that list?
How about Kenny the Jet Smith? What are we doing here? I'm questioning a lot of things right now.
Well, they clearly messed up with a few hockey ones. Rocket Richard wasn't on that list either. He started putting a couple of the greats up there, and then it's like, what? You forgot about Maurice? Seriously?
Yeah.
Zolt, very well played, sir. That's right. Igor the Professor. Yes, Clint Fridge was on that list. Shady McCoy.
Shady McCoy. Honorable mention the nickname of Zolt. Zolt's a great nickname. I think that should be on the top 5 easily.
Really? You're just gonna keep butt kissing or what?
What?
What? Don't make me call Orlando back in here. Now, what are some of the more ridiculous nicknames? And especially because one of them was on that stupid list. The He Hate Me thing, come on. That was off the XFL, and the guy wasn't that good. That was a horrible, horrible one.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about Pee Wee Reed?
There you go.
What are we doing here, man? And wait, didn't Lou Gehrig have a nickname?
Well, yeah, that is ridiculous.
He delivered late every time.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate the love for somebody who probably watched Pee Wee Wee play in person. It's back now. Nah, I'm back to the shock.
Lou Gehrig was the Iron Horse.
I knew he had a nickname. Surprise. Right on there. Oh, that's
Rodgers
funny.
for Aaron Rodgers. Oh, geez.
What about LT? For LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, the LT actually was Lawrence Taylor, too. So
Okay, fair point.
You got both of them.
All right, I guess I'll accept it.
Well, you bring that up, and it's like, hey, guess what? You get a 2-for-1 deal. Yeah, I was going to say, and the guy who legally changed his name,
is that
just as bad as Meta World Peace?
Maybe is that why they don't count that, because he changed his name to Ocho Cinco?
And yeah, I was going to say, and didn't the Meta World Peace thing also, he had to change his name too?
Yeah, Ron Artest changed his name to Meta World Peace. Yep. Hey, man, what about Big Z? You should know who that is.
Those Droskus.
I'm gonna say you have his hairstyle right now.
But of course, it's getting a little warm in Ohio, man. Come on now.
Ain't much cooler over here. Nah, man, that's not even like that's not even supposed to be a joke. Big Z could hoop when he was in his heyday.
Oh, absolutely.
A 7'3" man with a mid-range jumper. Oh, Glenn Big Baby Davis. Ah! What about Jesus Shuttlesworth for Ray Allen?
Don't forget about Clipboard Jesus. We just had him a couple weeks ago.
Fair point. Like what?
We just had him a couple weeks ago, right?
That was a terrible list. I'm still irate that David Ortiz is going to win it.
Yeah, Zolt, the mailman was on the dude's list. It was a little earlier on it. Okay, Clint's breaking out the boxers. You know what? Mike Tyson was not on that list. Iron Mike for Mike Tyson, he was not on that list. And there's the baseball one I thought you were going to break out. That's the baseball one I thought you were breaking out.
Well, I was.
That's right. You're still a little youngin'. That's right.
Well, since you guys probably went to school together, I thought you would have brought that up. You know.
I wore Jesus Shuttleworth when we met up that Friday. Oh, okay. So that's whose jersey. Okay. Clint, Adam, Gail, Rob, me, Kel, and Bryce and Piper all met up at the Fish Festival on Friday. Had a good dinner, but the rain just kept kind of floating through and all was pretty much about ruining things. And you know how that goes. It's like going to be fireworks. And it was like, well, if the rain kept coming through and we stayed, we knew they'd probably cancel it. But if we left, we know they'd probably still go through with it. Well, we ended up leaving because the rain was just making things miserable. And yes, they still ended up doing the fireworks on Friday. Of course.
Did anybody get Adam his Pickett jersey from me yet?
No.
Damn. Gonna have to bring one out when I come out in 2 months.
Want to have a top 5 NFL debate.
Oh, Anthony, send that through. I want to know what it is.
Anthony, you can be a guest on the show. You want to bring that up? You got to get on the show and bring that up. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about.
Oh,
there are reasons why we wanted to forget that, Zolt. Yeah, there are reasons why we want to forget some of these.
Jimmy G?
Oh, yeah, the whole MVG crap. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm not going that far.
Yeah.
I
The
ain't telling
guys,
that.
the guys give me crap for it all the time. It's like the only MVG is sitting right here. The most valuable G, he's in the chair right now.
I'll let Zolt comment in for that one. I'm not
You don't need to comment. It's the truth.
Zolt,
It's the
help
truth. It's the truth, and
Zolt,
we're not
please help
talking
me.
our truth either.
No, we're not. We're talking Ron Killing.
That's right.
Oh my God.
And you brought that to us. Yeah, see, G only making the statement because he's not here. Well, you're right. But it still would have been made. I'm the MVG and he's the MVZ. See?
Oh my God. Go to Clint's comment. Do you know who that's for?
Nope.
Pablo Sandoval.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, there's a lot more that we forgot about.
Oh, wait. Okay. Well, hold on.
There, like I said, I brought up Maurice Richard. That Nick, I totally forgot about Quadre. I really did. That's a good one.
Chipper Jones.
I don't know. Yes, no.
His name was Larry.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I mean, especially because it literally was on his baseball cards and everything right off the rip. So,
okay, fair enough. What about Doc for Roy Halladay?
Yeah. Oh, Zolt's got a correction. The missile, not the rocket. Yeah, but there is another football dude who used the rocket though.
Yeah, I was saying Marshawn Lynch wasn't on that list. He's on this one, but not the one that we set up here.
Right. The rocket was Rahib Ishmael. That's the one that you're thinking of. Yep. That is I just called him out. That was Rahib. Yep. That's who it was. Yeah, and the beast mode, yeah, like you said, that's on this list, but wasn't on the other one. So yeah, there's been a couple of guys who've gotten to use the rocket.
I got a wrestling one.
Nope. Nope, it's only 9:15. Not gonna do it. No, sir. All right. Well, wrestling ones, everybody's is.
No, the wrestling ones now today suck. I'm talking the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Okay. But Nature Boy Ric Flair,
yeah,
was right up there. Yeah,
Jake
the
the
list
Snake
did
Roberts.
have the list did have big unit result.
I didn't remember seeing it.
Yeah, it was on it. He's about midway through the list.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
But Roger Clemens wasn't on the list.
What was his nickname? I can't remember.
Rocket. It also was Rocket.
Oh yeah.
So on the wrestling circuit, like I said, you got several good nicknames, though.
Nolan Ryan. The Ryan Express.
Yeah.
Only one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And my all-time favorite pitcher. Ooh.
Well, a lot of the nicknames were the gimmicks, but when the Hunter Hearst Helmsley got shortened to just Triple H, because the Hunter Hearst Helmsley character was this fine, clean cut, preppy, rich punk, fancy schmancy dude. And then it just got shortened into Triple H and got, just the Hunter Hearst Helmsley got, tossed aside. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, still a solid one.
That's more than solid.
That's what she said. So there's a couple of good wrestling ones.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. And here, I was waiting, Clint. I was waiting. Randy Macho Man Savage. The King Savage thing came after he had won the King of the Ring, if I'm correct. But I did like King Savage.
I mean, The Rock.
Yeah, but they never went with Dwayne Johnson. They just went with The Rock.
I know that, but that's still a nickname technically.
Yeah. But again, it made more of the persona than it did for a nickname, kind of like the Undertaker. That's why I hadn't brought up the Undertaker, because of
I don't even know the Undertaker's actual name. Whoa!
Shame yourself, Mark.
Oh wait, no, it's Mark. Is it Mark Calloway?
Thank you.
So hold on.
There's about to be a one-man band here, real quick.
I got a as Triple H once said. I got a question. As a matter of fact, though, I got a problem. I will make jokes about you being alive back when fire was invented, but not knowing the Undertaker's real name is where you draw the line.
Dude, for as much as you covered wrestling podcasting, yes, you have to. Clint would even say 5-minute timeout in your corner, 90s baby. Go sit in your corner. Go sit in your timeout. Good God, man. Clint's. I know Clint's just shaking his head. I know he is. I know Clint's just watching this going, oh, face palm. It's like, dude. Oh, that was brutal. Sam, that hurt. That hurt. Clint says currently right now he likes Timeless Tony Storm.
Hey, Clint, while we're on the subject of that, I actually heard a rumor today that Britt Baker is possibly WWE bound.
And there it is.
Hey, Clint, love you, buddy.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think even Tyler would have went, no. I think Tyler would have given you crap for that.
How about Bret the Hitman Hart?
Anthony says he'll bring it next week. That's no problem, Anthony.
Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid.
Yep, I was gonna say him and Sean. Yep, for sure. But tonight, top
I
5
can
NFL wide receiver duos right now.
give me a challenge. Can
Wait
I
a
just can I
right now? Top
Can I
5
just
right now?
can I just ring mine off right real
Strong,
quick?
and they've got to be strong duos. It can't be
Okay.
superstar and a and a
No.
side of fries.
All right. So this is not in order. I'm just
Spitballing.
okay. Cincinnati,
Okay.
Philly,
Mm,
oh, you got to be kidding me.
mm, okay.
Tampa Bay,
Okay. When
Minnesota.
healthy.
Yes, when healthy. Minnesota,
Okay.
and 5. I've got a let's see, this the 5 top because I have a few. I guess if I'm saying when healthy, everything's going right, Miami.
Yeah, because one of the teams I would have thrown in there, but Seattle broke it all up. Was Seattle was
Another
there.
team I thought about was Detroit, but Jameson Williams is a little still not
No,
proven enough for me to put them
that's
there.
a star in a bag of fries.
Yeah, that's Amon Ra, and if Jameson gets going, yes, but still gotta.
Right, he's still a bag of fries.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Yeah.
Tampa, Minnesota, Miami, Cincinnati, Philly.
See, I would have thrown in healthy wise. I would have thrown the Texans in there instead of Miami. I would
Who's
have
the
thrown
Texans too?
Nico and Tank.
Tank's not playing next year. He's
No,
out for the season.
What I said, when healthy, when they were healthy, yeah, Nico
fair
and
enough.
Tank.
I think the problem mostly with Miami is the fact that they don't have a consistency at quarterback, and that's why they keep getting forgotten. When Tua's been healthy, they've been top 3 at some point. The problem is Tua's just never healthy. Anthony, there's no way the Lions have a better wide receiver doing the Vikings.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson alone clears the line. And I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but
Everybody else has been broken up pretty much. And Green Bay just has 2 bags of fries. So
Green Bay, I don't know they have a wide receiver 2, but a little wide receiver 1.
that's I said. They got a couple bags of fries. Or cheese curds in this place. Anthony said, who said the Lions? Not me.
Did he not say the
Clint,
Lions? In
no,
this thing?
Clint did. That's Clint.
Oh, that was Clint. I'm sorry.
Clint.
My mistake, Anthony. I'm sorry. I thought Anthony was putting up one freaking. I thought one of Anthony's comments was someone else. My bad, Anthony. Oh, that was yeah. I no, I don't see. No, but yeah, no, Clint. I don't see how. I don't think Williams right now is currently better than Addison.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony's got another good one. Rams.
The Rams did. They also broke theirs up. Well, actually, we'll see. That goes back to
No,
Seattle.
they actually made it better.
Can you say Dallas if Pickens plays like a number one he's supposed to be?
Hell no. So, real quickly, the reason I didn't put the Rams is all the other wide receiver duos I named have played together. I've yet to see Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua play together. Let's see if it even works out. No, Anthony, it is. But again, I don't know if they're going to come. Let's see it on the field before we start crowning it. All the other five I named have played together for multiple years. It's solid on paper. That doesn't mean that they're going to mesh together on the field because Devontae's never been a wide receiver two wherever he's going. Not in Green Bay, not in Las Vegas.
Well,
and not with the Jets either.
I was going to say, because he's bringing that up, I can circle it back to the Rams or the Seahawks because of Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith.
You can.
A word to Anthony, we are talking about when healthy. We're talking full on healthy.
So the reason I can give the Bucks and the Eagles a heads up on all these duos because unlike the rest of these duos, those duos have won something.
Yeah, but AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. But Devonta Smith just seems like he's just a backseat driver.
Devontae Smith, no. Devontae Smith is in a run. First of all, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are in a system that is a run-oriented system with a passing offense that is good. I wouldn't say it's like Cincinnati or the Rams, but and they still put up the numbers that they put up. Also, first and foremost, I'll spoil it. I have Cincinnati is not number one on my list. I'll just put that out there right now because I'm sick and tired of crowning that freaking duo, which all they did was bitch and complain about wanting their money. But guess what? Can't win nothing still.
Right.
Devontae, see, here's the question. Well, you got to ask when you look at duos, would the number two be a number one on bad teams? I don't think anybody's going to sit here and say that Jordan Addison would be a number one wide receiver on the team. I don't think anybody would say that. Devontae Smith is only the number two wide receiver on the team because of A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith could go to almost all the teams in the world that have no wide receivers and immediately be a wide receiver one.
The Commanders, Terry and Debo now.
No, because I think Debo. No.
Yeah. Anthony,
no,
who's the number one for Green Bay? There is no number one. They got two bags of fries.
It's Matthew Golden. He's a rookie, so we can't do that.
No, George, got two bags of fries. But the Commanders, it's a proven factoid for their wide receivers.
It's a proven fact that Debo Samuel stinks as a wide receiver. Yes, that is a very proven fact. That's why they have not been brought up in this conversation.
No,
George, the guy had what? George, the guy had one good year and has been so bad since then that Shanahan still had to line him up in the backfield.
Oh, we had no running. They had no running back, so he was the most versatile. That's
Yes,
why.
and then when they
Because nobody else
moved
could
him
run
out,
the damn ball. Nobody else could run the damn ball. So you got to put
yes,
in a wide receiver.
and credit where credit is due. When they did get running backs and they moved him back to strictly wide receiver, I barely saw him on the field because he was. Because guess what? He wasn't even the best wide receiver in San Francisco. Where is Tyler when I need him?
I was going to say, so at this point, we've got Ayuk and Pearsall sitting in San Francisco.
Don't forget Jennings. I love Jennings. Love how he's come on in San Fran.
Yep, very true. Very true. I mean, it's
Now,
especially if Ayuk doesn't play, it's Jennings and Pearsall, and
even if there's
even
still
better.
reports of Ayuk being traded. There's still rumors of him being out of San Francisco, so we got to wait and see how that turns out. I don't know. This is not a top tier duo in my eyes, but I'm very interested to see them both healthy for a full season. Rice and Worthy with the Chiefs. I'm very intrigued to watch how they play together. Now that Worthy has kind of like the training wheels taken off, and I don't have to watch Hollywood Brown, who stinks. I'm excited to see how Andy does with those two, because I think they could be a decent duo. I'm not saying top 10, top 5, but something decent enough to where they have capable wide receivers again.
Question for you.
Shoot.
Do you think Tyreek Hill right now is regretting going to Miami?
That's a freaking loot.
I'm not saying just because of his incident on the boats or his incident driving to the stadium on game day. I'm talking actual playing for the Miami Dolphins.
Why wouldn't he? He left an organization that's won 3 Super Bowls. 2 since he left.
So, was that a good thing or a bad thing? The guy technically was the kick returner, promoted wide receiver, and thought he was hot stuff because he could just out sprint the defense when Mahomes got in trouble and they just ad lib. And then the dude is gone. And of course they're going, well, where else can he do that?
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly, he said, okay, I can do it with anybody. Well, no, you can't do it with everybody. It's clearly showing with 4 different quarterbacks through Miami that no, he cannot do it with anybody.
No.
He needs some consistency. I was going to say, isn't his contract up this year too? Isn't he a free agent after this year?
I was about to say, I don't think him and the Dolphins haven't come to a terms on anything new yet.
Interesting. Very interesting, especially when somebody in Tampa Bay's contract is also up at the end of this year.
Pat Evans.
And since Mr. Hill still has a lot of mileage to go, somebody wouldn't have to turn around and get out of Florida anytime soon. He'd just go from one stadium to the next. There's something to stick in your wheelhouse to think about. Let that simmer on your crock pot.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is a Tampa Bay Buck.
I don't know if the Bucs are real. How the Bucs have been drafting, I don't know if they're going to be in the market. They may not need to be in the market for a wide receiver. They still have McMillan. They drafted Ibuka. They're kind of already preparing for those two, for Godwin and Evans' exit, which is crazy enough to think about it. But They're kind of already preparing for that.
And hey, we'll keep him in Florida. You can go to Jacksonville too.
Oh God.
Oh, all right. Let's stick that one in your fantasy wheelhouse. Trevor Lawrence throwing to Tyreek Hill.
Or to the opposing team safety.
No.
I agree. I agree with Anthony. I don't think Mike Evans will ever leave. He's going to retire a buck.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I agree.
I think they are preparing for him and Godwin to be on the outs because, again, they've had so many times over the past few years with him and Godwin both being banged up. Now, if something like that happens this year, me and Tyler were literally just talking about this yesterday because we did an NFC South outlook last night. If Evans or Godwin are to miss time, they drafted Emeka Ibuka this year. They drafted McMillan last year, and he had a really solid rookie year. And they drafted Tez Johnson later in this year's draft out of Oregon. They've already got their wide receiver core for the future, and they still have their current one. You thought Baker Mayfield last year was fun. I may take some stock into him this year, too.
I like this. Their fourth wide receiver on a depth chart. Tell me if you've heard this name before. Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson, basketball player, versus Cameron Johnson, the football player. Interesting,
Oh, yeah,
huh?
I forgot there's a Cameron Johnson in the NBA.
That I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. That
Is
boy
he on
plays
Brooklyn?
Phoenix traded him to no, he's in Cleveland. He's in Cleveland.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe he is in Cleveland because I know I was talking to Bryce about him.
I loved him in Phoenix.
So did Bryce. I have this little video of Bryce. Nope, he is in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I know he was. I know he was part of the KD trade. I didn't know if he was still in Brooklyn.
No, he went Phoenix. It was Brooklyn. Yeah, I know. It was somebody else. He ended up coming to Cleveland. I was talking to Bryce about him. I think, but I know that I've got this video of Bryce talking about Cameron Johnson. We watched him play against LeBron in the playoffs. And he's like, yeah, he says, Cameron Johnson was such a good player and he moved the ball around and he shared the ball with his teammates and everything. And he's good from the inside, shoots good from the outside. And LeBron's none of those things. I was like, dang. And that was a 9-year-old Bryce given the assessment on the playoff game. That was a ton of fun. So, yeah, we happen to like Cameron Johnson in this house. We're fans of his. We are. We're total fans of his.
Oh yeah.
But it's funny they just happen to see this other Cameron Johnson. It's like, hey, wait a minute. And his is with a K versus a C. So, went to Boston College, and it's his second season.
Oh, okay.
Not a whole lot of time in, that's for sure. Being pretty far down on the depth chart. He did have a target. He did get a target, though.
Anthony just asked, what if Hill goes up to Seattle?
Oh, Jesus. Don't let Bryce find out. Wow. Whoo. What if Tyreek Hill went to Seattle? Oh, I think Bryce would lose his ever-living mind. He would be so excited. Oh, my gosh. That's spooky. That is spooky.
Absolutely.
I'm very intrigued too. I am very intrigued by that. That's scary though. Uh There's nothing on the Broncos. Baltimore's never had a good solid pairing. The Falcons haven't had squat in years. The Cards don't either.
Nah, London's good. Mooney's okay. Wouldn't say he's like great, but he's solid.
This is interesting. For this year, you got Shakir and Coleman for the Bills
Eh,
with a whole bunch of backup guys. And when I say backup guys, there's more fries sitting there deep in the Bills depth chart than there is in a McDonald's Happy Meal. Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, LaVisca Chenault, Ty Johnson, Jalen Virgil, KJ Hamler, all are backup wide receivers for the Buffalo Bills. Good
no, run the football, you say.
God, man. Anthony, I agree. And especially when I just turned around and happened to win a nice little gold autographed football card of his. Can't wait to get my hands on that bad boy. It's like, yeah, he better turn around and do something.
They also signed Joshua Palmer away from the Chargers, so.
Who?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Another bag of fries. Good grief. Like I said,
Fair enough.
there are so many bags of fries there, it's not even funny. That is.
No.
Well, okay. The Browns have half a bag of fries. You got Jerry Judy, and then you have the grease off the bottom of the bag.
The grease
with the Cleveland Browns. Cedric Tillman, Deontay Johnson, David Bell, Thrash, DeAndre Carter. I don't even know who Luke Floria is. Gage Lavadine, Cassine Johnson. Who the hell are these guys? Like I said, the grease off the bottom of the bag, Sam. The grease off the bottom of the bag. That's the worst. I mean, even the Carolina Panthers are better. I know that's a stretch, but still. Yeah, the bottom five, the Panthers, the Browns, the Broncos. Fair enough. Fair enough, Clint. Fair enough. And then we can't forget about the Giants, Sam's favorite team.
Hey, Malik Neighbors is pretty damn solid. Just the rest of our wide receiver core.
I was going to say, okay, so you got a 6-pack of nuggets and the grease off of the bottom of the bag.
No, that's not even. That's the grease at the bottom of the fryer.
Ooh.
When they clean it at night.
Oh. Damn.
When it's closing time.
Oh. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that is some nasty grease. That is beyond nasty.
George, when we have a second, I got a very interesting baseball question for you.
Shoot.
Okay, so the reason I want to ask you this, because you yourself are a baseball coach, and so the Washington Nationals are in the middle of a 10-game losing streak. It's not fun right now in our nation's capital. Oh, it's also not fun at National Park either. Oh, wait, I thought we were talking about something else. But anyway, so Nationals manager Davey Martinez is a little bit under some fire for a recent comment that he said after their game on Saturday, saying that it's never on coaching. Martinez said after Saturday's loss to the Marlins, coaches work their asses off every single day. We're not going to finger point here and say it's on the coaches. It's never on the coaches. As a coach yourself, how do you feel about a manager coming out and basically essentially blaming all its players?
Well, it's pretty much you want to. I'm going to take the approach basically that my mom would flat out tell you. All of these athletes are getting paid millions and millions of dollars and want to act like 5-year-olds and decide to play when they want to play, quote unquote. And you're getting paid millions of dollars. Your butt better freaking be on and play. Play like you want to play, like you mean it. Play like you want to be there. This is a manager who basically said, you know what? The whole team is just crap. And it's like, you know what? You all suck. And it's like, and you're playing like you all suck. And it's like, guess what? You know what? I'm just going to flip you. We'll throw you down to AAA. We'll bring the AAA guys up in here. I think it's a motivational ploy. It's not the first time it's happened, Sam. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I'm
not the
aware
first
of that.
time. It's not the first time it's happened. Not at all.
There's
But
a little more.
In this instant, like I said, I saw it and I was like, whoo, cojones. Big cojones. But really, look what happened. You've got a mixed bag. It's a little bit like what I got too. I got a mixed bag on mine. You know what I did last night? Everybody was pretty much towards the bottom of the batting lineup and the top of the lineup. I flipped it around. We were on a roll. After the first inning, we were up 4-2. I say, hey, look, changing things up isn't a bad thing. Even if you're trying to change things up and you're trying to also get some motivation because you don't have, Sam, gonna say this, and I'm definitely calling it like I see it because it's the truth. You have millionaires playing our sports now.
Yeah.
Athletic millionaires. You don't have athletes playing anymore. You have athletic millionaires playing. That's what you've got. Okay. The best management, the best agents, what the best money can buy. But yet you probably got a guy, and I'm going to go there because it was proven. You've got a guy like Brock Purdy. You've got a guy like Tom Brady who were pooped on 7th round. Nada. Were the athletes who became millionaires. Now you just have automatic athletic millionaires.
Oh, for Christ's sake, look at the freaking thing with the NBA. Cooper Flagg's about to become an NBA player. They said he would have made more millions in college if he stayed. Now the whole system is screwed up.
Yeah, because they want to turn around and it's all about, hey, I can make money. But dude, you've got to really be able to play. And here's the worst part. And I wish I had saved it. Somebody had even said the NBA right now is a total joke. You have guys literally taking every other game or 2 games in a row off, and they are barely playing 50% of the damn season, and they're getting paid for the full season. You're paying them for the full season, but yet they're only playing half to maybe 40% of your whole season.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry, like let's take out let's just take out like pay time off, sick time off. Sometimes in some jobs you call out of work, you ain't getting paid.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You look at the NFL guys, and everybody wants to make the big stink of, oh, well, they get a Veterans Day. And it's just like, hey, listen, I'm sorry. If you're in the car wreck every single week for 20, actively 23, and then with the pre-camps and such, you're looking at 38 out of 52 weeks. Your body is taking a grueling punishment, more so physically than any basketball player or baseball player. I ain't even going to try to touch it to hockey, because hockey, those are the most physical sons of guns on the planet. Sorry, they're numero uno. They are numero uno up here.
The only sport that has kept its credibility from a play standpoint to a financial standpoint
is the NHL.
Yes, that's 100%. Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they're talking about, like, just example, Sam Bennett for the Panthers, free agent to big. He gonna get paid a little bit of money because of this postseason he's had, and they said, oh, his AAV is gonna be like $10 million a year. And in hockey, that's like making $100 million a year.
Right. But guess what? He was the athlete first. Yeah. And now is now getting paid and rewarded for it.
So real quickly, kind of staying on this thing, Martinez did add this to his statement as well. I wanted to just read this off before we got too off the topic. Sometimes you got to put the onus on the players, Martinez said. They got to go out there. They got to go play the game and play the game the right way. We cannot hit for them. We cannot catch the balls for them. We cannot pitch for them. We cannot throw strikes for them. They have to do that.
Yep. 100%.
I have no issue with any of that.
Yeah, I don't either. And it's also their responsibility to make sure that they are keeping their health in check throughout the whole season too. And then in your off season, it's like, hey, if you let it go by the wayside, it's like, oh, all of a sudden, well, you gain some weight, or you lose some weight, and then, or you lose muscle tone. I mean, there's a lot of things that can still happen.
Well, this is not the first time that there's been something with the Nationals over the past 2 years that was a headline. Last year, C.J. Abrams. Now, he was the shortstop they got in the Juan Soto deal a couple years back, and he has been one of the Nationals' best players over the past 2 years. He was the Nationals' everyday shortstop last year, and there was a game in September. They were in St. Louis. Abrams went out to a casino and came back to the team hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning. He did not play another game that year for the Nationals. And as a matter of fact, he left that road trip that morning. Why? Because he had to go report to AAA because they sent him to the minors for what he did. 145 games. And they sent him to AAA because of that. I like that approach. Because the other problem with the way the world is now is some of these assholes, and I'm going to call them assholes, think they're freaking invincible. They can't be touched. They can do whatever they want. That's the shit I hate.
Yep. And my mom would agree 150% with that.
By the way,
she said, hey, if you screw up for football, every drop pass that it go back through, and it's like, yes, you should have caught that. Hey, there's $100,000 right off that paycheck, off that game check. You throw a stupid interception, that's $250,000 off your paycheck. My mom's ruthless. She's like, she's got penalties for these guys. You miss a block, she's like, that's $50,000. I was like, damn, this is gonna get expensive quick. I said, hell, half of these guys wouldn't have a check by the end of the game. Easily.
God, Justin Herbert be broke if this is the case.
Oh my God. Herbert would be reverse mortgaging some homes.
By the way, end of the second period, 3-0 Panthers.
Oh.
They're shining her up.
Yep, I was gonna say it sounds like it. Speaking of which, we're also gonna shine it up. We out of here, sir. We gone. We're gonna fire up George and Gracie. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. You never know who's gonna pop in and stop by, and apparently Anthony, she's bringing it next week. See y'all later. We'll remember that. We'll see you.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. I said say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin. And if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Gracie.